pains in the arm, the neck, tears in your eyes, you better go get a check right now because you never know. I came home in 99. I think it was in September. After a real tense meeting, I came home. I was smoking, I had a cigarette, I was watching TV. And I got a chest pain. I was getting, and I figured, what's going on? So I lay down, I was going to sleep, and it kept building up. And I got up and I walked around. It usually goes away. This time it wasn't, and my neck was getting some, my shoulders getting some. So 1 o'clock in the morning, I put my clothes on and I drove myself to the hospital. And they checked me in and they rushed me into emergency. I was having a heart attack. But I thought I was having a cold. I thought I smoked too much. I probably did, but those symptoms, if somebody tells me about heart attack, I know right away, better get something done because it might not seem like one.
Yeah.
And they talk about blood sugar. I know about blood sugar and what to do with it, that kind of stuff. So I can sit in a meeting and have discussions openly about my people and diabetes and that kind of stuff.
Personally educated.
Yes. Yeah. So I thank God for all of those things that I learned.
Mm-hmm.
Alcoholism, family relationship, the breakup, heart attack, diabetes. It's all part of my life. And I thank God for lessons.
Lessons?
Yes.
A good way to put it.
Yes. Life's lessons. So I don't judge people. I try my hardest to accept people, whether they like me or not. And I can tell you if a person doesn't like me and I walk into the room, they may be smiling at me, but there's a feeling that I get, whoa, this guy got something against me. I got into a prayer mode many years ago when I was involved in the Bible. It's called camp revivals. I fully believed in God. And I went for prayer. And I said, give me wisdom and knowledge, the spirit of discernment. And I got prayed for. And I believe I got it. I believe God gave me what I asked for. And I can exercise it today. I'm not holy or anything like that. I'm the prodigal son probably. But I can tell you if God likes me or not. And that's what I love about it. And then I can walk into a room and I can feel the compassion of the people or the near uprising, that kind of stuff. Those are all gifts from God.
Discernment is a great gift.
So I got to run, but I'm available again. I'm off to court.
And what's your court today? Which court case today?
One of my band members needs assistance. I once introduced a judicial system, and I got it to a point where it just about became a reality. At that point in time, I was told that that particular money was given to an Aboriginal organization. I would have to get permission for them to do that. So I quit right then and there. I was going to bring my people home, house them on reserve, and get them to work for the reserve. That way they're with their family, and it didn't cost anybody any additional dollars. But because of bureaucracy, I couldn't finish it. But I still do earn some rewards from people like the Crown and that kind of stuff. They kind of respect me to a certain degree. As long as they push the Chandi thing away, I'm okay.
So just clarify what you mean by Chandi, because you've mentioned that word twice in this interview.
Chandi is the trade item that I used to challenge a system.
Was the tobacco?
Yes. And I got charged for it. But before I got charged for it, we renovated several homes on the Dakota Plains.
Yeah.
It eliminated what you would call taxpayer dollars.
Oh yeah, it helped you tremendously.
Yes.
Yeah.
But I got charged for it. I mean, it's not fair, but
Oh, the government just sees dollar signs going by that they're not putting in their pocket. And they want to put a stop to that, because imagine if all the communities did that, then they'd be out of luck, wouldn't they? They're really robbing us with that.
imagine if something boom happened right now, there was nothing but First Nation people left in this country. Imagine the beautiful life we'll have.
Oh, the only dream.
I just want to read something about that the purchase of land in Portage.
Yeah.
It says here that a letter sent that year from S. Laidlaw to Mr. McKay reported on an effort by the Dakotas to buy land. This is in 1893. Just for some time they've been paying in money in view of purchasing land to settle on permanently. They now have over $300. That same year, November 1893, for a purchase price of $400, title to river lot number 99 in the town of Portage, containing 25 acres of land, passed from the Martin and Curtis law firm to three men: Samuel Marlett, a lumber merchant who later became Inspector of Indian Affairs, Angus Daniel McKay, a railway clerk, and William White Miller, postmaster. Ticket title number 2547 was issued on 1st November 1893. And then there's it says, in reality, 22 Dakota purchasers had bought lot 99 with their own money, but apparently were denied the legal right to hold title. Therefore, they had the three men act as trustee under the Declaration of Trust dated November 1st, 1893. So, and then it lists Dakota names. And then they continue on with the Indian Affairs. They're monitoring the Dakotas. We're not considered Indians, but we're considered Indians. We're Indians as far as we don't have the right to own title to the land, but we're not Indians in that there's no reserve, there's no anything coming to the Dakotas from the government. So it's a real double standard.
You've got the worst of both worlds.
Yeah. So the Indian agents says the 1899 annual report on Indian affairs for Portage Perry Agency sets the Sioux Indians of Portage Perry separately from comments regarding the rest of the agency. There were 132 people residing within the limits of the town on a tract of land purchased by themselves. Most of them have good homes and gardens. The men can always find employment when they want it, and the women earn a good deal washing and other heavy housework. In short, these people are doing well, and nothing would do much better if they could not get liquor. Nominally, most of them are Christians. The Presbyterians have a nice mission church in the Sioux village, which is well attended. The Foreign Mission Society of the same church has a very comfortable boarding school in the town with accommodation for 40 pupils. This band of Indians, although not in treaty, come within the jurisdiction of this Manitoba agency. There are 38 men, 37 women, 56 children, or 132 in total. They have good houses and gardens which are well looked after. They are quite independent and self-supporting. And then it goes on to say there's a report in 1901. It says, annual report for 1901 also presents the report of the Inspector of Indian Agency, who comments that beautiful piece of land containing 25 acres. The people of Sioux Village have progressed, he said, from one of the most degraded of peoples to one of the most enlightened progressive bands in this inspectorate. Their village is a model of its kind. Straight street, good houses with shingled roofs, nicely whitewashed, clean and comfortably furnished, some with flower gardens in front, and all with splendid gardens of vegetables. They view with each other as to whose home is the most attractive. Naturally, these Indians are good workers. There are quite a few aged people among them who are faithfully provided for by those who are able to work. And then there's a report 1902. This band is still making substantial progress. These Indians have quite recovered from the disastrous flood of April 1902 when their village was overflowed by the waters of the Assiniboine River. They are hardworking, industrious people, and their labor is of considerable benefit to this town. Both men and women find constant employment. They have good homes and gardens. They have nothing to look for from the government. They simply go out, work for the farmers, and earn a good living. And actually, some of this is from the United Church. These are United Church. Some of them are documents from the United Church. But that goes back to what the chief was saying, that we were never dependent on the government. You know, and even though we weren't classified as Indians, we were still treated as Indians, and that we couldn't own land. We're allowed to be on the land, but we can't own it. And that's, you know, 1901 is recent. It's recent history. I just want to flag that.
That was great.
And coming to work here with Chief 8 years ago, I came from a community, the largest community, Sioux Valley, and I worked with the same agencies that the Chief works with, and I thought I had a good working relationship with them. People from INAC, Indian Affairs, and from Canada Mortgage and Housing, and the suppliers. And I come over here, and the same people that I worked with in these agencies, and these, all of a sudden they wouldn't respond in the same manner anymore. And I considered them friends, and so I went and we had lunch, and I asked them, I said, "What's going on here?" I said, "You know, aren't we friends?" And yeah, friends, but Craig, you have to understand, and, you know, there's a list of 62 reserves in Manitoba. Sioux Valley's up here because it's the biggest Dakota community, and when, you know, along with like Peguis has, you know, 7,000 members, Cross Lake has close to 7,000 members. You know, when they phone, you jump, right? And Dakota Plains is at the bottom. So regardless whether you're a good friend, because I don't know very many people that have any animosity to this man as far as the government goes. But like Alexandra Paul, the reporter for the Winnipeg Free Press, she can't write anything on the plight of what's happening with Chief Smoke and the people, because the media and the government won't allow it. So, and it's the same thing. You guys are our friends too. Well, who's going to listen, right? And that's what's been going on all this time. So when I came over here and I started to see a different side of this picture, I came from a well-off community, what I thought was well-off. But we were only well-off because we had a bigger land base and a bigger contribution agreement dollar that came from the government. And we were in a different location where we had some form of economic development. And then I come over here. We're only 15 minutes off the Trans-Canada Highway, but you guys took the road yesterday, and you got to go this way, and around the corner, and over here. You know, who's going to come out here and support the business? And everything that the chief has done, it gets thwarted either externally or internally. And
I have a question. If you had bought land to sell the tobacco, right? You bought a little piece of land, converted it to reserve status, right?
no,
Oh, you didn't, but you had a little piece of land where you put that shop up
Mhm.
on? What if you had a shop here, like the Mohawks sell right on your territory? If you had a shop in your backyard, would you be taxed by the province?
that's what we did.
On your own property?
Right out of this building. This is the building where they came and raided.
Holy, I didn't know. Okay. All right, I thought it was a separate shop you set up on the highway kind of thing.
That was my case. I knew I was going to get charged on number 2 highway,
Okay.
but I thought I would, who knows? But at that time there was a statement made by an official
Yeah.
that said, "Why didn't you do this on your reserve where it's legal to do that?" So we came home and we did it, and we got charged again.
Still got charged, yeah.
You know, the interesting with that was I went away for a weekend, and the house that I was living in, it's right beside the band office. It got broken into. Somebody walked in, and you could see the tracks. They looked in every room, and they left. And nobody ever breaks in, but they were looking for something.
Mm-hmm.
So padlocked the door, chief was nice enough to give me an extra TV that he had, so I had it in there. And then I go visit my mom. I come back and my door's kicked in again. And same thing. They check in the rooms. They didn't take anything other than the TV and like what they anything that they could readily take. And so they were looking for tobacco. I mean, we can't prove it, but that's what they were looking for, right? So why don't we sell tobacco from here? Because it's the RCMP said it was legal, right? So there's a sliding window, one of the bedrooms, and we set up a little store in there, and we had hired community members to come and work. And I also reported the crime, the break and enter to the RCMP. So they came over and they did, a week before they came and took fingerprints and things like that. And then when one of my nephews was working, the police came over, RCMP came over, knocked on the door, and he doesn't know what's going on, right? So RCMP come in and they wanted to talk